Greetings all and welcome back to my channel. I want to apologize for how comfortable I look, or maybe I don't want to apologize. I'm just super comfortable right now, and I guess I don't really have to apologize for that, huh? Anyway, let's get into this video. Today I will be talking about my top 10 favorite Black romance indie authors. I'm excited about this one. I'm excited about all of my videos, but this one in particular because I get to, kind of lay out how or why or when I came back to, I don't know if I had ever entered into it though. It's back in the day, I was just talking to my friends last week about the types of stories I used to read. In my preteen, teen years, they were way beyond my years. I shouldn't have been reading them. The Zanes and the Eric Jerome Dickies of it all. Like, I was a little young to be reading them, but they were in the house, so they were read. But I also was into, in high school, I experimented a little bit with the fantasy dystopian type of stories, like I never read the what the heck are they called now? Everybody loved those things. They turned into a movie or series of movies. Hunger Games. I never got into Hunger Games, but I did read, gosh, why can't I think of the series now? I still have those books too. The Divergent series. That's where I got into that in high school. One of my friends was reading. I don't know if she read the books or she got into the movies first, and then she started reading the books, and then I started reading the books because I'm like, oh, why not? If my friend's interested, let me see what it's about. So I read them. I read all of them, and that's what I was into at the time. But yeah. So after high school, I kind of fell off from reading recreationally. I got more into I don't want to say academic reading, but yeah, I was more into academic reading when I went to college, and I spent a lot of time just studying and reading for academic purposes. I never really read for pleasure when I was in college. But once I was finished with my bachelor's, and I started working, I was kind of just like, I don't want to say I was bored, but I was kind of bored. The job that I was doing at the time wasn't boring. It was just very tedious. And I found myself like, I could be listening to music or something while I'm, doing this thing. And I mentioned this in a previous video. I think it was my audiobook. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was my audiobook video. I was talking about how I was watching this YouTuber, and of course she had a sponsored video that was sponsored by Audible, and it made me interested in reading audiobooks because I had never read audiobooks. Of course I had heard of them before, but it's like, it's not really my thing. I like to have the book in my hands and read it and fill the pages or whatever what have you. But after seeing her video, she had the code and you could try Audible for free for a month or whatever it was. I was like, oh, why not? I'll just try it for free and see if I like it. If not, I can always cancel it, right? So I downloaded Audible, and I think I said in that previous video, that I initially got into reading romance, but when I look back at my Audible history, I actually started reading autobiographies. And one of the first books I actually listened to was I want to say it was Michelle Obama's first autobiography, Becoming, or it was Gabrielle Union's. I'm not sure if that was her first one. I'm pretty sure it was her first autobiography, I'm gonna need more wine or something like that. Obviously I'll put them over here so that you can see what I'm talking about. But I think it was the Gabrielle Union book that I read or listened to first, and then it was Michelle Obama's. And from there, I started exploring their catalog a little bit more. I was like, I don't know what type of books I really want to listen to. Somehow I stumbled upon Alexandria House, who is my first author that we'll be talking about, who brought me back to romance. Her audiobook, Let Me Love You, which I also mentioned in my last audiobook upload, was the book that brought me back to Black romance. And what a comeback it was, because that book really, I can't even tell you how many times I've actually listened to that book, but it was a lot. I listened to it a lot over the past, that was back in 2018 when I started getting into Audible, and over the past, 6 years now? I think that's 6 years it's been. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's a very good book. Well written, well narrated. So yes, once again, I'm going to recommend that book because I know I recommended it in that other video, but yeah, it's worth mentioning because, like I said before, I believe that's one of her most popular stories to date. Yeah, so that book really brought me back to romance in general, because I used to read all types of different types of romance, not just Black romance. My life's been largely dominated by white romance, to be honest, in the media, like movies and TV and books. So it was kind of refreshing and amazing to see Black love depicted. And in 2018, I was 27 years old, and had not read anything about Black love since books, like I said, like Zane and, Eric Jerome Dickey's stories. Zane's books were not books I should have been reading at the time because I was way too young, but that book, Let Me Love You, really made me fall in love with reading again, with reading fiction again. I was kind of burnt out at the time. I was very burnt out on academic reading, academic study. I was just tired, y'all. I was tired. And I needed some amazing escape in my life. And that really brought me back in. Reading her audiobooks, because, once I read that first book, I'm like, oh, this is a series? I'm not sure at the time I think there were, I want to say there were either two or three of the books from that series available at the time. Maybe just the one, I don't remember. But I was like, I gotta keep reading. I want to keep reading. And I'm like, dang, the next book is not on Audible yet. So, because I was sitting thinking, I'm like, how did I go from Audible to Kindle Unlimited, or Kindle, going to Kindle? So I saw that her series, like she still, she had written more books in that series, but they just hadn't come to Audible yet. So I skipped myself right on along to Kindle and found her other books to read. And that's when I signed up for Kindle Unlimited. So I'm like, oh snap, this is like a library. I could take out, I don't remember how many books it was at the time. I think now you can take out 10 books at a time. At the time it wasn't that many books, but I was pretty stoked. Like, I pay this monthly fee and I could take out this many books at a time. I'm excited. So that's how I got into the other books in that series. Let Me Love You, Let Me Hold You, Let Me Free You, I believe. Crap. I'm going to look and see which ones they are, and I'll put them up on the screen. But yeah, I finished the whole series. I have them all on Audible now. I have them in Kindle format now. But anyway, that led me to our next author, Miss Love Belvin. I discovered her as, a related author when I started reading Alexandria's books on Kindle. Love Belvin came up, and I think the first book I read from her, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in a previous video too, was the first book in the Connecticut Kings series that she has with Christina C. Jones. So I started with that first book and obviously went on from there. And that's how I also discovered Miss Christina C. Jones. Because of that series. The first book was by Love Belvin. The second was by Christina C. Jones. So I started reading those books. And that's how I was introduced to both of them. And from there, I was introduced to... I'm like skipping along here. I was introduced to Alexandra Warren as another related author. And now Christina and Alexandra, I believe, have their own ventures together. They have a couple of book series together too as well that they've written together. So I was doing a deep dive from 2018 till now. Deep dive. I've read every single one of Alexandria's books, every single one of Love Belvin's books, every single one of Christina's books, every single one of Alexandra's books. I was not playing. Like, when I find something I love, I've said this before too, I'm gonna stick by it. Until I'm disappointed, I'm gonna stick by it. And I have yet to be disappointed by any of them. So here we are. And moving along, my next in the top, I guess this is my top 5, I guess you could say. Next up is Ashley Nicole. I think, her writing is just like, I love her writing. I love how comedic she is in a lot of her writing, but she also does very good serious topics as well. A lot of her stories are set in Connecticut, so I connected there as well. But she writes very, very good stories, so I'm looking down this way because that's where my notes are. Let's see who's up next. So moving into our next 5, no less awesome writers. I'm basically reading the list in order of discovery, kind of, because past Ashley Nicole, I honestly don't know what the order is here, but let's just say it's in order of discovery. So after discovering Ashley Nicole, I just went down a rabbit hole of Black love realness. and it's mostly like contemporary Black romance, but I've read every single one of Christina C. Jones' books, and she has a variety of subgenres within her catalog. So yeah, I've definitely read more than just contemporary romance, but that's where my safe space is. It's contemporary romance for sure. So anyway, next up we have Asia Monique. Also love her writing. I mean, obviously I love everybody's writing, otherwise I wouldn't be reading it, but everybody has a unique way of writing, and I love her writing style. I can't say I've read every single one of her books. I think I've mentioned this before too, that I've read all of her contemporary romance. I have not read the mafia stuff yet. I assume I'm going to get around to it. I just haven't yet. So after after Asia Monique, we have Sabrina B. Scales. To be honest, I think I may have discovered Sabrina before Asia, but it really doesn't matter. She has a very good comedic style as well, but also dives into some real deep topics, like I guess it's a book series. Started with Plus, even though Plus is not the first book of hers I've read, but that book was just so layered, so good. And the ones that come after it, I'll obviously put over here. Next up we have Danielle Allen. Now she is quite the unique writer. I think one of my favorite books from her is called Annabelle and Lee, I believe. Annabelle and Lee. It is a retelling, kind of the Telltale Heart. Is that the one from Annabelle and Lee? Oh, I'm having a brain fart. It's a retelling. I just know that because she did a couple of Edgar Allan Poe retellings in a contemporary romance type of setting or style. Annabelle and Lee is not the Telltale Heart one. I know that's not it. I have to say Annabelle Lee. Anyway, like I said, whatever I'm getting wrong or whatever I'm forgetting, I will obviously put up on the screen. So please forgive me. I'm having a foggy brain day. PMS week. My bad, y'all. I had to readjust my camera, readjust myself. My legs are falling asleep because I had them folded under me. Anyway, let's keep it pushing. Talking about Annabelle and Lee. It's a retelling of one of Edgar Allan Poe's stories. Yeah, so those stories that she kind of retells in a contemporary romance style, and I just think that's super cool. It's kind of like Christina C. Jones' retelling of Alice in Wonderland, which I will not stop pushing for people to listen to. And I say listen to because the audio experience is top notch. Anyway, next we have Shanice X Lola. Her stuff, her stories are they have a vibe. That's all I can say. They just have a vibe. They have such, just like, I can't explain it. They just have a vibe. That's all I'm going to say. And I'll put up some of my favorites for you guys to check out. And last but certainly not least is one of my more recent finds, or one of my more recent discoveries, Miss Kimberly Brown. I can't say enough about her. She was the book of the month one of her books was book of the month last month for January. Amazing writer. Like, I feel like she came out the gate and has not taken her foot off my neck. That's all I'm gonna say. Her story, like, I just finished a spin-off story that she wrote for another story that was a part of a series of stories with a bunch of different authors, a billionaire baby story. So she just released a spin-off not too long ago, and I just finished reading it last night, and I'm just like, is she trying to get book of the month for a second month in a row? I apologize for the barking dog. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't, like, the microphone can't muffle him enough at all because he's like right next door. And before I forget, I wanted to mention and shout out to someone who commented on one of my last videos about an app called Hoopla, or not necessarily just the app, because you can access it online anyway, like on a computer, on a tablet, on your phone, mobile device. It's called Hoopla. I'm pretty sure plenty of people have heard of it before. I was not aware of it before this person commented, and I'll show the comment here. It is a database, or it's like a database of books, audiobooks, no, ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, music, TV, movies, through your public library. So you can listen to, read for free through your library system, as long as it's in the library system. of your local library. You have a library card, you can access whatever they have available there. And I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, why did no one ever tell me about this? Where have I been? Have I been under a rock? How long has this been real? But yeah, it's a thing, and it's there. And I was just tripping out because I was like, oh, I know I have a library card. I hadn't been to the library apparently since 2015 because that's when my library card expired, because I was running around my house like, I know I have a library card somewhere. Like, I was literally flipping stuff over looking for this library card because I'm like, I have to see what these people have available on here, or what my local library has available on here. And lo and behold, I'm like, oh, I knew I had a library card. When I found the library card, I was ecstatic. Went to go try to log in with the library card on Hoopla, and child, they was like, sis, I think you need to talk to your library because this thing ain't valid. So I went online to my public library's website. Lo and behold, my joint had expired in 2015. It said it on the back of the card too. It was like 2015. I was like, nah, it's still gonna work. I was so delusional. I was so sure that joint was gonna work. It did not. So I was like, all right, I gotta go down to the library and get this thing renewed. So I did that. I went and got it renewed, logged into Hoopla, found so many audiobooks, so many ebooks. I was like, I'm in heaven. I could save a little bit of money because I'd be going broke for these books. That's the one thing that I will keep in the budget. No matter how broke I am, I will keep it in the budget to be able to buy these books. That's just how in love I am. But anyway, I wanted to mention that for the folks who don't know. Hoopla is real. It's available. As long as you have a valid library card, you're golden. Okay, to close out, I'd like to thank my top 10 Black romance indie authors for bringing me back to the genre when all was bleak in my world. Thank you so much. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but if you do, thank you. Thank you all for watching. If you liked, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you would like. I'm gonna try to keep up the momentum this month. Like I said in my last video, I do want to post every week in honor of Black History Month and honoring Black indie authors for everything that they do for us who are completely enamored with your gifts. Thank you all for your hard work, because I know it's hard work to kick out these stories for how much a lot of you kick out in a year. It's insane to me because I'm like, I can't even write one story, but thanks for making me feel like inferior and stuff. But I'm just kidding. All right, thank you all for watching. I hope you all will return for my next video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like, and I will see you next time. Be blessed. I get so awkward when I gotta film, but then I get into it and I'm having fun. Okay, let me stop being stupid. I always feel so awkward because I feel like the people upstairs can hear me filming. Because like if I can hear them, they can definitely hear me, right? But like, should I care? I shouldn't care. Like, it's my life. I'm doing what I want. They do whatever they want. I do whatever I want. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you all for watching. I once again apologize for my, I don't even know what to call it. I'm just like